Good morning. Good afternoon. I think it's right around lunchtime. I'm getting ready to cook up some hot dogs for lunch, but I never like to put a good fire to waste. So took the grates off. I vacuumed the dust out real fast with my little mini shop vac, and I thought I would try to focus on a test here again. I sort of noticed something when I do burn. Sometimes I get a lot of smoke, sometimes I don't get a lot of smoke. So that's going to be sort of what this test is about today. To try to figure out why some days I get smoke, some days I don't. Once I know that, then that's just another folding knife into my Swiss Army knife of tricks that I can use for future cooks. So there's also going to be a little mod. I'm not even sure it's a mod, it's an accessory. We'll talk about that too. So that's what today's cook is, hot dogs, but mainly another question that was on my mind that I wanted to see if I can answer this morning. When I get done with all that, I'm going to run the cooker up to about 650 to help burn out the fats. Then I'll finish cleaning out the grill, scraping all the dusty parts away, suck it all up, and then I'll be closer ready for Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, my coals are left over. There are more in here than I normally would have. So I've got a full cook's worth of coal in here, because it would go from here to here worth. And normally I'd only put this much in for a short cook. But the other day when I was doing it, I had it up to here because I just emptied the bag. It was more important to have the empty bag to put my ashes in than it was for me to control things. So anyway, all that said, let's go on with the show. Light up the stove, and normally I don't show this part, but just like my Weber with a cast iron, I like to scrape it, boil it down before I light it, and then at the end when I'm done cooking, I like to lift up all the little stuck on pieces of meat so that it's the easiest to get it off. So it actually just gets sort of like at the end of a cook it gets cleaned lightly, and then at the beginning of a cook it gets cleaned better, and I just keep doing that. The idea is that this is cast iron like a good skillet, and I'm just trying to season it. The more it's seasoned, the more it becomes like a non-stick surface. So that's what I'm doing. Over here is the temperature probe for the controller to monitor the hood, and I like to give it a little scrape just to keep that as clean as possible, because that's the gas pedal. So, all right, with that being done, now it's time to put some oil on the grates. Now, for lighting the charcoal, I usually use a little tumbleweed. I've got several boxes of them that I'm still using, so rather use them, throw them away. But meanwhile, with these paper towels with a little oil on them, these make it kind of handy just to put in here to get things started. So there's no waste with that either. All right, so I think I'm ready to light the coals and get this thing up to temperature. Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. Okay, get things going. Open up the vents a little bit so I don't forget about that. So I think at this point, this part's all ready to go. I'll close it. I think I'm still building a little fire in there, so I'll just let that have another minute or two. So next time you see me, I'll be closing those doors and bringing the grill up to temperature. Okay, so what I'm wanting to test here is sometimes when I light the grill, I don't get very much smoke. I mean, it is smoking. I don't think the camera is going to show it too much. I'm trying to hold still as much as I can so that you can see that there's a little smoke. If I open the hood, you know, I know it's burning, you know, there's smoke there. But like when I did the video with the smoke coming out of the back, like right now it's in that not smoky phase. Other than the fact that there's a sort of an overall little smogginess to the deck here. So I know, right? Let me pause this for that airplane. So on Saturday mornings, the airplanes like to get out of the local airport here, and that guy was in a hurry, which makes a lot of noise. Anyway, so as I try to back up and give you an angle here, I'm just pointing out that sometimes I light it and I don't get smoke, and other times I light it and boy, it's like it's doing exactly what I want it to do. And I think I have an answer for that, but I got to let it develop throughout this test. I don't want to jump the gun too much. But you can hear the fuel. In my last video I pointed out that I'm burning Lazzari, and I told you that it crackles. So I'm down here by the fan, but I'm thinking that you can hear the crackle. Let me turn the fan off here. Lift up the grate. Let me turn the fan on a little bit, but you're hearing it crackle. And it's daylight right now, but see the ashes little coming out? That would be little fireballs. So if this was nighttime, you can see on the hood here how it's building up. But listen to that crackle. But even still, you know, if you're one of my regulars, you know that I usually have a lot more smoke coming out than I have right now. And the grill temperature is only up to about 150 right now, so this should be smoking a lot. So we're going to find out, or at least we'll have one theory explained today, why sometimes there's smoke and other times there's not. So I'm going to go back over here again. Yep, I hear it crackling. The fan is running. Temperatures are coming up, but hardly any smoke. It's a mystery. I made an observation here that I'm going to tack on this video. It goes back to my switch mods, where I took the switches apart and put the dielectric grease in them. I had asked the question, why is it that this button, when it comes up, will give me a sign saying open, but the fan runs? And I ended up going into the user manual, and I read where this button, unlike these up here, that when this door is open, the fan is cut off. Same as down there. When that door is open, the fan is cut off, and it does not come back on. This one, when it is in this open position, comes on. It says open, and I've always closed the hood before it's had a chance to go off. But I'm leaving the hood open here for a few minutes, and I'm discovering that the fan is going off. Once the temperature is up, as I was saying, there's a sensor over here, a thermometer, you know, a probe. And when the fan is running, this is the hotter side of the grill. But then when the fan stops running, this becomes the hotter side of the grill. So throughout a cook, if your hood is closed most of the time, it's going to be hot over here. But if you have your hood open a lot and the fan is forcing the air, it goes all the way to the end and comes out, and this becomes your hot side. Well, that's also where the probe is. So right now, the fan just went down. You may have heard that. And because the hood's open, the heat is coming out, that switch will, or that probe will cool off, and a fan will come up. So I'm getting down here so that we can watch that. So right now the switch is really quiet. So that means that the temperature on the probe side has reached my preset temperature, which is right now 270. And with the hood still being open, it's cooling off, and the fan is coming back on. So this is an important switch in that it maintains your cooking temperature if you have the hood open for a long time, and then once you close it, at this point I would assume that the fan will go off because it's capturing all that heat in there, and then it will go back to regulating. So I never saw that switch do anything until today, so I wanted to share that with you. I guess one of the points of the video here is I want you guys to be able to just turn on your grill, cook a meal, have the family enjoy it, and not really worry about it. But if you've noticed things and you're curious about it, I would hope that maybe you would come over to my channel here and then maybe leave a comment saying that, hey, I'm noticing that my grill does this. Have you seen that? And if I have, I might be able to point out that I made a video of it, or that it might become my next video. But this channel's for all of us with a Master Gravity Series cooker. It's not just for me. I'm not doing this for any gain, or at least at this point in my life. It's just I got it, saw some irregularities, and wanted to do something about it. And I thought other people must be having this, and so I started searching the internet, and sure enough, you know, things started popping up. So that started giving me ideas for stories to run. So I'm still running the grill up. I want to get it to the point where I can cook the hot dogs. Then I'll take the dogs off, and then I'll run this thing up to about 650 and just burn out all the fuel. But as I sit here with the grill in focus here, you're not seeing the smoke that I usually have. And I'm definitely burning the same fuel, the Lazzari fuel. So sometimes it smokes and sometimes it doesn't. And I think you're going to be surprised with what the answer is that I think it is. And I hope it opens up a discussion so that you can say, yeah, I've seen this, or no, I've never seen that, or whatever. You know, we just never know how a discussion's going to form. You can't predict those things. Anyway, enough of me yammering. On with my hot dogs. Okay, it's been a little bit. I think the dogs are about ready. Yep, they sure look like it. I'm taking a real close look here. I might be able to let those get away with just a couple of more minutes. Cranking up the temperature just a little bit, only because when I'm done with this cook, I'm going to remove the hot dogs, and then I'm going to dial this up to 650 and burn all this fuel out. At the same time, that's basically putting the grill into in oven cleaner mode, and then when it all cools off, probably in about an hour, then I can come in here and finish cleaning it all up and get the grill ready to go again for the other test a little later on this afternoon, where I'm going to do something to see if the smoke happens. So yeah, we've got several things happening here today. I'll be back. I also want to get over here to the side. I mean, I can see the toaster effect of the heat coming out of the back of the grill, but I don't see the smoke. And because I want to smoke a turkey in another week and a half or so, that's why I wanted to focus on fixing this smoke problem, so that I can get that part working just the way I want. But right now it's at 420 degrees. Normally it doesn't smoke a lot at this temperature, but it hasn't smoked for the whole cook, and that's my point. Okay, I have a couple little coals left in the bottom here. You can see how white that is, how white it is around here, and even how white it is in here. This is one of the better examples that I've seen of this phenomena with the Lazzari charcoal burning white. Anyway, it's getting long in the day. This burned longer than I thought it was going to. So I'll clean out the rest of the grill a little later. What I'm going to do is go to the smoke test at this point. But one of the things I wanted to show was that I have the heat manifold roof with the little lips on both sides from Luke. And I also got these little plates from him. And what happens is that these will fit over the shield, but inside the drip edges. And then what I'll be able to do, is put one of the, like an aluminum pan on top of them, and underneath the grill. Kind of like the inside oven in the kitchen. Whenever I'm cooking any meats in there, I always have a drip pan. Same thing I feel about this grill. I don't want to drop fats just into the grill if I can catch it on a drip pan. And by having these pieces sitting like right there and right there down inside, that will allow me to put this on there underneath this surface piece and have all the 1,000 square inches of cooking space with the double racks and stuff. So I wanted to show that, but after I clean it tomorrow, I'll have them in there. Then I guess I'll show them in the next video. But the whole point would be that I think that's not so much a mod as an accessory, and can't wait to see it work. All right, I'm going to load this up and then see if I have smoke this time. Okay, I just put in some lump coal, and it's to about the same height as it was when I did the other burn earlier with the hot dogs. And again, I'm getting, the very, very white burn with this. So I want to kind of keep pointing that out. I put in tumbleweed and I lit it. So at this point, that should be doing its job. And I'm going to set the temperature for 275 or 270. And now I want to see if I have smoke. I'm not going to cook anything. It's just a hunch. Okay, we're up to 135. It's still lighting up. And when I lift the hood, I see no smoke yet. I'm getting a little bit of heat, but still no smoke. Just thought I would make a note that at 135, it's crackling. We're on our way, but nothing yet. Okay, we're up to 245 and no smoke. Yeah, I don't see smoke in the back. Okay, it just hit 300. And in the past I would have lots of smoke right about now. I lift the hood here and it's even cleaner than it was just before I cooked the hot dogs when I got a little smoke. I don't even see a little smoke. And I've gone around to the back and I don't see anything coming out in the back either. And what I thought the situation was isn't coming to be. I thought the reason why it wasn't smoking was that when you have wood in here, you know, lump coal, and you end up putting the blades in and you snuff it out, that we've heated up all the logs. And I thought that what would happen is that somehow that tempered the woods, I don't know, with the heat, and so that when we go to burn it the second time, the wood would not burn like fresh brand new wood because it was already, you know, through a heat cycle, and that's why it wouldn't smoke. But I was wrong. After I had the hot dogs cooked, I let this thing go up to 650 and I let it just burn itself out. It took about 2 hours to be cool to the touch and everything, and I showed you that there was just a few embers in the bottom. So I opened up a fresh bag of lump coal and I put it in there up to about actually here. So that's how much coal is in there, about a half a chute. And fired it up, and I expected to see lots of smoke because it was fresh charcoal and there's none. So that just means that's how clean this stuff burns. And it's like, well, where did all the other smoke come from? And I gotta tell you, I mix stuff in the bucket. I put pellets in the bucket, I put the chunks of apple in the bucket, and I get all kinds of smoke when I do that. And I actually attributed the smoke coming from the Lazzari Lump Charcoal. I'm glad I did this test, because the inside of this, the lid, when it's open, it's all white. It's all, as you can see here, it's all white inside right now. It's trying to tell me that there's no extra fuel going on here. There's no waste of fuel being used to make smoke. It's just pure heat coming off of this thing, which is really neat. I'm impressed. So now I know that if I'm looking for the smoke, you know, to see physical smoke, it's all the stuff I have to add to the ash bucket to create it, because I won't see it obviously with the Lazzari. So I'm going to, I think it's going up to 350. Where are we at right now? I'm at 310, and there's no smoke at 310. So I'm gonna crank this up to 700. And I don't know if I mean, this video is really long, and I don't know if I should add, we'll see. I might add the last couple of minutes of it up at 700. But if there's no smoke even at 700, then it's like, that's it. Lazzari is burning so clean that there is no smoke, and if you want smoke, it's the chunks. And so in all those past videos of mine with all the smoke, it was because I added something to it, and I didn't know that. So I share that with you. You probably all are way ahead of me, so it's great. Let's get it up to temp. Okay, I'm calling it 400 degrees. Open the hood. Very little smoke. I see none around me. It is that clean of a fuel. It's it really surprised me. I've actually burned Lazzari in there with no additive woods to the ash bucket, but I was getting smoke. But I bet you exactly what was happening was it was scrubbing all that stuff out. It was finding all that black tar and burning it, because I've been noticing that there's less and less smoke, and I now know why. This is the first time I've done 2 half chimney burns all the way to nothing, back to back, and getting all this white everywhere and no smoke. And this stuff is used inside in restaurants, and they'll have those oven, like those fireplace ovens where they have wood in there, so they don't want smoke, not in their restaurant. So that's why they're burning it, and I didn't know that. So I learned something today. I was stubborn, because like I said, I thought it was because the wood heated up to a couple hundred degrees and then cooled off, and then somehow or another that changed the makeup of it, so that when the second fire happened, there was no reaction to the smoke. And fresh brand new bag and no smoke. It's like, nope, if I want smoke, I got to add king fruits, I got to add pellets, or I got to add chunks of wood to burn with this. And you've seen how smoky this thing has been in the past. So just back up a few videos and you'll see it. Meanwhile, it's dark enough right now that you're probably seeing the sparks. Yeah, they're coming up. So I'm not disappointed. I just can't believe it. That's all. So now I know. And you don't physically need to see smoke to have a smoke ring. You can get a smoke ring inside of an electric oven. So it's changing everything that I thought I knew about this. For years I was chasing smoke rings by having a lot of smoke and everything else, but not now. Well, thanks very much.